Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Happy Thursday. We are diving into today what I believe to be Blake's really bad PR. Oh shit. We are diving into today. Sorry, I had another browser open. Annie, don't start. So we are going to dive into what I believe to be a very bad move for Blake's PR team. And we're also going to dive into Yi Zhou's lawsuit against her by her personal trainer. So for those that are new to that story, she is the one that has been crashing out on Instagram, accusing Jeremy Renner of just all kinds of inappropriate behavior. And she has a pattern. Today, we're just going to be starting to scrape the surface of this. And this is why I've said over and over again, directly to her as well, when she kept messaging me, crashing out on Instagram and getting the attention of everyone is a bad PR strategy. It is not good. And then what ended up happening is she would respond to every piece of, like when I say every piece of content, I had made a few reels about her. Every piece of content, she would send me links to her responses to my content. And it wasn't until that she made a post basically saying, I am a hate account against Ari Emanuel, Blake, and Ryan, and I need to take a walk and help people that need me or something like that. That is like, all right, girl, you want my attention, you've got it. And I've had, overall, people are really interested in hearing what's going on. I've had a couple people say, I wish you wouldn't cover this because she just wants attention. No, this woman wants to be part of the Me Too movement. That's what she wants. That's what she wants. She has been working very hard, in my opinion, based on what's been sent to me that is publicly available, working very hard to be part of the Me Too movement and taking down men that, in my opinion, and I've said this from the beginning, what it looks like that she feels she's been wronged by. She doesn't want negative attention. She literally does not want negative attention, because the moment I said anything about her, she was trying to she was all up in my space. She was all up in my space trying to get me to stop. She doesn't want negative attention. And on top of that, it's wild to me that people that support outing Blake for trying to ruin Justin Baldoni's life are like, we shouldn't talk about this. So Justin Baldoni is the only person that, we should highlight that a scorned woman is trying to destroy his life. So, there's that. And that's why I'm covering it, is I don't like liars. I don't like bullies. And from the second I saw this situation, it smelled like something was off. And I also don't like how TMZ helps people ruin other people's lives, because TMZ has run stories for her that they came to a deal, which what led people to believe that Jeremy Renner was agreeing that he did something wrong and had paid her off. So you also have the same old playbook coming down over here, where we have TMZ, legacy media working with these scorned women to try and take them out. And I'm just not here for it. And exposing media manipulation is something that I'm really passionate about from my experience in branding, marketing, and PR. So anyway, let's start with, and I just feel it's like, what, guys, I will defend women too. I'm just thinking, oh my gosh, of course, it's another case where, I'm exposing the woman. People are gonna be like, I'm never gonna be able to escape now Blake bots saying that, I'm misogynistic and hate women. But here we are. All right. How are you guys doing, my friends? It is so nice to see you. Let me know where you're tuning in from. And yes, I do not pick who I help based on if they're saint or not. And something I've said on the channel, guys, if anyone wants to come up to me and tell me you're a saint, or some celebrity is a saint, or some public figure is a saint, it's a load of bullshit. I've said this all the time. Justin Baldoni's human. He admits he's had problems in his life. He admits he's made mistakes. That's one of the things I love the most about Justin. That's one thing why I've gone to bat for Justin so much, is because he's such a great example of how we can fuck up and we can do things that we aren't proud of and things that we wish we could turn back the time on, but we can't. and he keeps moving forward and he uses that wisdom to help others. That's one of the things that's always really drawn me to Justin, to be honest. I think if we see him as a saint or perfect, people are completely missing the point of his whole brand, which is I'm not perfect, but I can keep moving forward and being a better man. We can learn from our mistakes and use that wisdom to do better and be better, which is ultimately, in my opinion, the core of what his whole brand is about. So, that's something else I'm really passionate about. We all have shortcomings. We all fuck up. Exactly. People make mistakes. It's all about how we respond to it, growing from and learning from our past. Exactly. All right. Let's start with Blakey Poo. Although I was just going to say, because it's not going to be that long, but I also said that yesterday when we started with Ryan Reynolds. Okay. I think I have it up here. Oh, I want to let you guys know, unless something big drops tomorrow, I need to catch up on business. So on business, I mean, it makes it sound like I got business to take care of. I don't know. I don't know why it made me think like, made me sound mafia or something. I don't know. I got to take care of my business, guys. But I do have business stuff to just to deal with tomorrow. So unless something big happens, I likely won't be streaming tomorrow, just as a heads up. And if you are in the paid tier of the Substack membership, the Radical Happiness Movement, I have an incredible podcast coming for you guys today on the private podcast. And that's why I'm a little bit late today, because it was supposed to be 10 minutes and it turned out to be almost 20 minutes, but that's how I am. I can't shut up. So really good podcast. And you guys are going to get some insights into my past that I've literally never said anywhere on the internet before. So it'll be really cool for you guys. Okay. Oh, and the topic is we only grow to the capacity of our nervous system. So it's all about your nervous system. This is when I first saw this, actually standing on business. Yeah, that's the kind of energy, right? It came out. Oh my goodness. Okay. When I saw this, and I think this was by design. When I initially saw this come up, I thought, who ran this? Like, what side ran this? Because the reality is, these platforms, for example, people, they're not stalking the docket, right? They're not following everything that happens on the docket. They're too busy. And we've talked about this in the past when we're looking, especially legacy media these days, but also content creators. There's a lot of bigger content creators that have teams that feed them the information and they just record. They're the face of the brand. They record and run with it because the news cycle moves so fast. So they're not stalking the docket. Therefore, when I saw this, I go, what side would have ran this? Because in an initial just thinking about it, to me, it doesn't seem, now this is Ashley, right? I always look at things first as just Ashley, and then I start to pull it apart. But Ashley, just a normal human looking at this, I go, I don't know what Blake gains from this. I don't know what she gains from letting it be known. And then, of course, PR Ashley comes in. It's like I have two people in my head sometimes, and it's the Ashley, and then it's normal human Ashley, and then it's the PR version Ashley, or the Ashley with the experience in the industry. Now, I do believe this is from Blake's side for multiple reasons, but I'm going to break it down because I want you guys to also start to notice and be able to see media manipulation and narrative control, not just in this case. Because I think for a lot of us, it can feel obvious, right? That Blake would run with a story or Blake would run a People magazine. It feels very obvious, but I want you guys to have the tools and skills to see it when it might not be as obvious, or maybe in situations where you might have a bias towards one or the other parties. Let's use Jeremy Renner as an example. Maybe you see a headline, you're like, oh, he's an asshole. And, I think he did X, Y, and Z because I heard a certain story about him. But do we actually know the truth? And that's what's so important. And what I hope people take away from the channel is, but do I actually know the truth? Do I actually know what's going on? Do I actually know what happened below the spin? Because that is what PR is. It's a spin. Do I truly know what happened below the spin? And what do people get from running this story? Not People Magazine, but what do people get from running this story? Because again, People Magazine, TMZ, they're not stalking these celebrity stories. They're having these stories fed to them. Therefore, there is going to be a spin below them. Thank you, Leo, for sharing those links. We have Substack. There is a free tier as well. We have a 30-day gratitude challenge going on right now, inspired by Justin Baldoni. If you're stressed out by this case, I'm telling you, it is the place to go. And we have the merch store. Yes. And I am going to add it. You guys have asked me to add, I meditate and shit. And a couple others I wrote down that you guys had asked for. So I will get those added. All right. So that's the one thing I want you guys to take away from this channel. And it's a big ask because it is much easier to just go with what narrative we're being fed. And when we have big cases like this, such as Blake and Justin, it's also very easy to get very tribal in our thinking and then not see the nuances. And that's usually where I get attacked, when I'm trying to show the nuances and then people don't want to hear the nuances. So what I'm essentially asking is we have to zoom out a bit and put almost all of us like a PR hat on and go, what is the spin below this and what does someone gain? All right. So when we're looking at the intention behind maybe a PR move and why I believe this was Blake's side, a celebrity doesn't necessarily get damaged necessarily, because there's some things that, you know, are nuances to that. Of course, everything's nuanced, but a celebrity does not necessarily get damaged by the media mentioning something that might be embarrassing or bad. So for example, in this situation, it might not inherently be damaging for Blake Lively to have it get out there that she got the full video from Jamie Heath of his wife giving birth. That inherently isn't necessarily going to be damaging to her career. What is damaging to her career is the angle that information gets out. Because again, remember guys, everything has an angle. Everything has a spin. If you are seeing it, that's my Trust No Headline mug from the merch store. Just a spicy girl living in a narrative control world on the back. If you are seeing it in legacy media, there's a reason. So it's the angle itself that can be damaging. And so therefore, if you have a celebrity with something maybe embarrassing that's coming out, they're going to get damaged based on how the public perceives what happened. So when I started to pull this apart, I go, ugh. All right, Blake, I see what you're doing here. Yeah, I agree. Natasha needs to speak out. They're controlling, which is what I always talk about, right? Media manipulation and control. They're trying to control the narrative that gets out. In fact, they might be trying to get out ahead of, maybe they do have a fear that Natasha is going to speak out. Maybe they're genuinely concerned, like she might speak out or Justin's team might come out with something. And so it's less detrimental to her. Let me know if this makes sense. I'm trying not to speed through and just, typical Ashley verbal steamroll everyone. It's less damaging to get ahead of it and put something out that says, but this is our side or this is what happened, rather than wait for the other side to move. And then you're on the back foot in responding. So I do believe Blake ran this story. Let's actually go into the people one first, and then I'll say what else I have to say about this. Now, remembering that 80% of people only read the headline. Oh my God, there's so many ads that start right away on this. 80% of people only read the headline, and then you're going to get the majority that actually start reading. They tend to read in like a T, so it's going to be the H2. This is your H1, the big headline. This is your H2, the second one. And they're going to read like the first max 100 words. So people aren't reading much of an article. And that's how you can also tend to tell who's brought the spin forward, because they're going to want to get their story out. Sorry, I got like dog hair in my eye. It's driving me crazy. They're going to want to get their story out at the top. Oh my gosh. Husky hair. It's so light. It just floats in the house. Okay. I'm just going to have to pretend that there's not a hair in my eye and roll with it. It's just what we're going to have to do. The title is Judge in Blake Lively Case Explains Why It Ends With Us Producer Must Turn Over Wife's Birth Video. If it is only, or if it is Blake's side, and I say if because I don't need another subpoena. If it is Blake's side that ran with this. I believe it was intentional to have more of a neutral headline and to have it in a way where it's not saying exclusive, because exclusive gives it away that one of the sides reached out to you. I would imagine personally, if she did, and if she was the one that sent this over to people to run with it, that it was intentionally set up that we run with more of a neutral headline and we don't put exclusive on it. Why just read the headlines? I don't get it. I don't know if the research ever said why. Probably because people are busy and most people are just scanning, right? So yeah, I would imagine if I had to guess. I don't think I've seen any research that explains why. Most people aren't. I guess the answer is when people are busy, it's like people don't care enough at the end of the day. The majority of the people, as much as we want to assume, sorry, I'm still poking at my eye. As much as we want to assume like everyone knows what's going on with this case and everyone's team Justin and the world supports Justin, most people don't because they only read headlines. What you're going to get, and the people that read a full article, are those that are invested in the situation. And most people just aren't. Even if they like celebrity gossip, they're just kind of getting an overview and running with it. All right. H2. The judge denied Blake Lively's request to block Heath from offering any evidence or testimony about the video. And again, I'm looking at this and I'm going, it's pretty neutral. And it did take me a minute to really start to think, what's going on here? Need to know, a judge ordered Jamie Heath to turn over all footage of his wife Natasha's childbirth, ruling it fell under a prior discovery order and should have been produced according to documents filed November 17th. So first 100 words, right? We're looking at what was said in the first 100 words. Can you guys see the spin there? Let me know if you can see the spin. So Blake is the one wronged, right? She was owed, and owed isn't the right word, but like he was supposed to turn it over. He did something wrong. And it almost without saying it of like, what do you have to hide? Without saying it. But it's the impression that it starts to build is what do you have to hide? It should have been produced. Why didn't you? So right off the bat, that's the first thing, is it fell under the order. And so people that might read that might also think, hello, it's so nice to see you guys in the chat. Well, why didn't he turn it over? Again, how anyone could ever see this as, given the context, explicit or bad when they're trying to set up a scene of her holding a baby post-birth, I can't see that. I can't see how it's corn. And again, when we start to think that people don't know the full context of this, people aren't following the full story, people might think like, oh my God, can you imagine if Joe the boss ran up to us and just like whipped out a video of his wife giving birth? I like that would gross me out. So it's without saying it, it's starting to plant that seed of it's kind of gross. Like a superior just like whips out this phone with a video of his wife giving birth on it. It says the video will remain sealed under the case's protective order, with the judge saying it could potentially support Blake Lively's claim about what she was shown on set. This also positions Blake in a way of, I'm not going to, like, it's not like I'm going to leak it. We need this. It supports my claim that I was SH'd on set. It's protected. It's not going to get to the public. There's no need for outrage. There's no need for people freaking out about this. And Heath must pay Lively's attorney fees related to the motion. So for me, it sets up that they did something wrong, maybe potentially loosely. What do you have to hide? And she's the one that was violated by that, because the judge agrees with me that this can prove my case of SH. So what did you have to hide? Why wouldn't you turn that over? And again, I don't agree. I don't think this video should have been turned over at all. I don't think it has any place in this case. I think Blake is completely out of line. When we're looking at PR, we always want to think of what is the spin. So it says a judge sided with Blake Lively. So there you go, right off the bat, and ordered It Ends With Us producer Jamie Heath to turn over all footage of his wife Natasha giving birth, ruling that material should have been produced under an earlier discovery order. What you might see from the other side, like if Justin was to run something like this, it would maybe start with something like Jamie Heath's wife, right? It's going to start with her and how she was violated, forced to turn over full video footage to Blake Lively and her team, da 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 da. But it starts with Blake Lively and it shows how she. Sorry, I forgot to put your freaking humidifier on. Is it not? It's not even needed. It's down here though. You're gonna have to go down there for it. You want me to put it up there? Okay. There you go. Sorry, guys. I forgot to turn on my parrot's humidifier, and she was clearly very offended by that. So again, it positions Blake as the wronged party and kind of, not in my eyes, to the public that doesn't know what's going on, has the potential to make it look like Jamie Heath's side, Wayfair, has something to hide. I forget the exact wording of the order, but I read this week was open to interpretation. I agree with that. If he only showed one video and that's what he turned over, why would there be a need for another video? So apparently, from what I've gathered from lawyers that have been talking about this, is the law itself is really broad. So when the law itself said to turn over, I can't remember the initial one, but when the discovery was turn over basically the birth scene or whatever, it did encompass the entirety of it. However, I was seeing, I think it was Little Girl Attorney, talk about how it's still so broad and ambiguous that you don't even know. Like, it could mean every video he's ever had of his children being born. Like, that's how vague it is. And that's how broad it is. I feel for Jamie. I cannot see in any realm of existence where it makes sense to turn over the entire video. And I genuinely believe that's why they didn't fight it. And they likely figured, well, that means the video I had on my phone, which I turned over, and now Blake's going for the entire thing, which is just disgusting. But that's what I've gathered from some of the lawyers speaking on it, is the law itself is so broad that basically anything that could fall within that is part of what needs to be turned over. It says here, in his decision, United States District Judge Louis J. Lyman said, according to documents obtained by People filed on November 17th, that the prior order encompassed more than the video Heath claims he showed Lively, and explained that any footage depicting the delivery would tend to support Lively's claim. The judge added that the footage will remain sealed under the protective order in the case due to its sensitive nature because Heath never opposed the original motion to compel. The judge concluded that the additional footage should have been produced. So it's still very neutral. It's not like Blake's side coming in hot against them. You can't with this. Like, can you imagine if she comes in hot around this? She can't. And it gets her story out first. It's a tricky thing. I can see how maybe Natasha was like, don't you dare run stories about this. Like, I don't want more attention brought to this than it already has. Maybe Natasha was like, do not dare run with PR around this. It's very possible. But I do believe Blake's side ran with this simply to get ahead of the story and reinforce Blake's side, reinforce that she's fighting as a woman that's been SH'd, and the other side are refusing to turn over all of the evidence. That's essentially what this frames it as. But it's very neutral. And I think, again, that's intentional because it's a sensitive subject and you don't want to look like a psycho crazy person, even though she is. To the average person out there doesn't want to look like a psycho crazy person. You want it to be framed as, well, they should have turned it over. What do they have to hide? So it continues. On November 3rd, Lively's lawyers wrote that Heath had only released a 3-minute excerpt so far, and she had consistently disputed that the short clip matches the video he played for her. And this is the thing. Has she described the clip that he played? Because maybe, describe it, Blake. Describe it. And then maybe he can try and see if there is that image, or you can come to some kind of agreement. You don't need the entirety of this video. How long is this freaking video? Probably hours long. So she claimed Heath's lawyers maintained for weeks that no additional footage existed until Heath revealed during a recent deposition that more video does exist. So again, it's positioning it as, see, they're slimy, they're lying, they're trying to cover it up without it being explicit, without it saying, exclusive without it saying anything too risky. It's just shady. It's just so shady. The birth video at the center of several claims in Lively's lawsuit. In her complaint, Lively's lawyers accused director Justin Baldoni and Wayfair co-founder Heath of disturbing and unprofessional behavior on the set of It Ends With Us. Yes. Hugging, a culture of hugging and gratitude. That sounds very disturbing, Blake. Let's just forget about the shit your husband does, but okay. She alleged that Heath once approached her and her assistant without warning and showed them a fully nude video of Natasha giving birth. I am convinced, guys, that Blake Lively maybe had a moon bump on and someone else gave birth. There's no way this woman is giving birth. I don't know. Lively said she initially thought she was being shown corn and asked whether Natasha knew the footage was being shared. According to the complaint, Heath replied, she isn't weird about this stuff. The one thing I will say is if that was me, I would probably be like, oh, is she okay with you sharing it with everyone sitting here? But I still wouldn't think it's corn and I still wouldn't think it's inappropriate. I can put myself in the shoes of, oh my gosh, I hope she's okay with this. I can understand that. Heath and Wayfair parties deny her account and claim she only saw the opening frame of what they described as a beautiful home birth video showing Heath and Tasha and their newborn after the delivery. To characterize that image that captures such a beautiful moment with their newborn baby shared with the consent of his wife for purposes of the film as a naked photo or worse, corn is deplorable. I agree. Baldoni's lawyers wrote in his January 2025 complaint. Lively is seeking more than $160 million in damages. Baldoni's $400 million countersuit, meanwhile, was dismissed earlier this year. There's another sign of who wrote or what side wrote this. On November 13th, Baldoni, 41, and his co-defendants asked Judge Lyman to rule in their favor without going to trial, and a decision on the request is still pending. Trial over Lively's claims is scheduled for March 2026. And another interesting point for me in regards to all of this is, so let's go back to all, we'll refresh. Now, this could change. It could change. Whoops, that's not where I want to click. I'm still not seeing a ton of articles running with it. So we have Yahoo picked it up. They always pick things up. Daily Mail has one. People, Just Jared has one. An interesting point with all of this as well is it doesn't look like she's flooding the zone with it. It doesn't look as if she's going all out and hitting, sending out 30 CCs on this article. It looks like she, if it is her team that did this, kept it small because it still allows her to move forward with the narrative, still allows her to get her word out there first without it being so dramatic, which is kind of their style typically of PR. So anyway, that's what Blake is doing right now. She is getting out ahead of the narrative and telling people, well, it's their fault. Number one, it's their fault because they didn't turn it over. Number two, it's their fault because Jamie Heath lied to us and said that that's all he had. And number three, it's their fault because they didn't oppose it anyway. That's what Blake's saying. And unfortunately for people that just aren't following the case, I would hope the average person, here's the thing. I lose faith in humanity more and more every day. So I would like to say there's hope for humanity not seeing this as something nefarious or something bad, but society continues to show me and blow my mind that things can be misconstrued, misrepresented, and the especially online mob just takes something, grabs it, and runs with it. So I think it's a bad move, by the way. I think it's a bad move. I'm trying to put myself in a PR, guys. Unless they really expect Justin's side to come out hot, like with a Natasha interview on how she's been violated, I just think it's a bad move. It looks skeezy. It looks slimy on Blake's part. It looks bad. But I also have critical thinking skills and I read full articles. So maybe, again, I'm giving too much credit to the average person. I wouldn't have run with this. I mean, I wouldn't have taken Blake on as a client anyway. I wouldn't work with Blake in the first place. I would help her with spirituality. If she wanted to learn more about her human design, decondition, and, try to be a better person and put the old, muscle into it and elbow grease into it, yeah, sure, why not? I'd help her with her spiritual awakening journey, but I would not take her on as a PR client because I don't agree in doing sketchy shit. And so I don't take on clients like this. I just think it was such a bad move. I don't like it. Leave. And the thing, if I was Jamie Heath, I'd be like, bitch, leave my wife's name out of your mouth. Like, you and your PR team are running with my wife's name. Ugh. If nothing else, this would set me off. If nothing else, and I wasn't planning on going forward with like a PR narrative in regards to this, if I was just going to drop it and let it go, I'm telling you right now, this would piss me off that she has the audacity to say my partner's name in her skeezy PR campaign. That would set me off. The gloves, if they had not come off yet, which I feel in many respects, and I've said this and people have disagreed with me, but I'm going to stand by what I've said. I think at times Wayfair has taken too much of a conservative PR approach, which does lead them on the back foot sometimes. So if they wanted to take a conservative approach to this and just let it go, let it play out, this would have been the thing that would get me really pissed and over the edge. But we'll have to see how it plays out. This was 23 hours ago. Moore might pick it up and he might have a response. And even if Justin's team wasn't going to come forward with a response, this might twist their hand. Let's see what's going on under Justin's name. This might twist their hand just enough to respond to it. Let's see. So this is under Justin's name. So those are trending for him. News about Blake Lively is trending under Justin's name. Oh my God. He's probably got to just be praying for the day that this just ends. They can move on. Like, I cannot imagine how stressed they all are over this. The amount of stress and stress now that also Natasha's been dragged into this, the additional stress on Jamie Heath. So we have news about Blake Lively. And this is what also pisses me off. For those that haven't seen it, make sure to watch the videos. There was like a 2.5-hour video, and then I did my best to cut it down, a 45-minute video over Ryan Reynolds using a female photographer, not paying her anything for 6 years with Aviation Gin, and the exploitation and the disgusting behavior with Ryan and his brand senior manager. That gets no attention. Where's that? It just pisses me off. And it's because those stories get killed. Actually, I'm going to see really quick. Ryan Reynolds. I don't know, but all these lawsuits and all the crimes he's committed, I feel like are catching up to him because he has aged a lot this year. 2 hours ago, Ryan Reynolds calls his kids with Blake Lively spawns of Satan. That's an interesting headline to run with. Ryan Reynolds reveals why he soft parents his 4 kids with Blake Lively, but jokes are still spawns of Satan. He just can't give up that sense of humor. He just can't do it. He would rather bury himself than give it up. All right, let's just look at this really quick, and then we'll flip over to the Yi Zhou lawsuit. So I do have to be conscious of time today. Ryan Reynolds reveals why he soft parents his 4 kids with Blake Lively, but jokes are still spawns of Satan. The father of 4 ensures his children are always in a place of safety so he can make better decisions, he explained. What? Ryan Reynolds says he didn't have soft parenting growing up, but he's glad he does now. The Deadpool and Wolverine star 49 opened up about using gentler parenting strategies with his 4 kids with wife Blake Lively. And what exactly he means by that, well, speaking to the Wall Street Journal, you guys, I've had a lot of people message me to check out this article. I will try to get to it. I've just got so much for business to catch up on, but I will try. Summit in New York on Tuesday, November 18th, asked about whether he thinks the resilience and drive he gained during childhood, which manifests in the dedication to his work, No, what his issues have manifested as is manipulation, control, and exploitation of everyone around him. That's and I'm going to be honest. Is there any proof other than from Ryan Reynolds' mouth himself that his childhood was bad? I'm not saying it wasn't. One second, guys. I'm not saying it wasn't. But is there any proof other than from what Ryan Reynolds has said himself? Because I don't trust anything he says. And he tends to say a lot about his dad. I think his dad being a bad guy. And I'm not saying his dad isn't, but I genuinely do not trust a fucking thing Ryan Reynolds says. And people will make up stuff to go into these stories. I mean, it could make sense if he had a hard childhood and I don't know, it turned into acting out. I worked in the psychology field with youth for a long time, and that does happen sometimes. But I've also seen youth that grow up in very privileged backgrounds who were little deviants and setting things on fire like Ryan Reynolds and manipulating people and extorting people and doing all these things. So I don't know. I don't really believe Ryan's dad might have been a psycho too. And I think that doesn't he want you to believe his dad was a bad guy? I think that's part of his story. Or someone was bad. I feel like I've heard stories about him. I don't know. About why his childhood was bad or something. Regardless. I'm guessing that's what he's also getting up to. Like, I didn't have soft parenting growing up. And that's why he has soft parenting now, apparently. Which also means, manipulating your own child to say inappropriate things in a movie. That's soft parenting these days, guys. Is manipulating your own child, your daughter, into saying something she's not comfortable in saying by threatening to take the role away from her and give it to someone else. That's soft parenting. Okay. These, like, obviously this is reputation management, blah, blah, blah. He leaked that he gave this whole shit to people. But where's the integrity? I'm so sick of it. Where is the integrity of these platforms to be like, I'm not running this shit? Like, I'm just not running it. Yeah, that's the impression I got too, was his dad was really tough. Yeah, my family was super tough too. And I'm guessing both of us didn't turn out to be like Ryan Reynolds. It's just. So he says, asked about whether, okay, we read that. Reynolds first offered a joke, replying, I don't know. He said, it's a worry, God, I'm not fucking them up enough. Soft parenting is new, right? I didn't have that, says Reynolds, before revealing his own philosophies on the matter as it relates to his kids, James 10, Innes 9, Betty 6, and Olin 2. There's not a lot of yelling or punishments or anything like that. Okay. Now I know why this was run. You guys know though, because this channel is smart. You guys are critical thinkers. Everyone here has been hydrated. You had a good night's sleep. Your heart rate variance is good. This is why this was run and why he said that at the summit or whatever he was at, because he just got accused of berating Justin Baldoni for 5 to 6 hours. So he just got accused of berating Justin Baldoni for 5 to 6 hours. And he's got to say, no, there's no yelling or punishment at my house. It's so chill. We're soft parenters. We don't yell. Me yell? What are you talking about? Yeah, you guys are jumping on. You know where we were going with that. I'm not a yeller. What? Me? No, soft parenting. Funny guy, remember? Haha, funny guy Ryan. Funny Canadian. I wouldn't yell. That's what it is. All right. Rather, Reynolds says at the WSJ summit, gentler parenting allows for kids to feel safe, which he believes leads to better decision making. Having those challenges when you're younger really taught people how to get themselves to a place of safety, he said. Adding that makes people feel like they earned it. But if you're not in a place of safety, you make great. If you're just okay, sorry. But if you're just in a place of safety, you make great decisions, he continued. You really kind of work from a place that isn't fight or flight. You actually get to be thoughtful and you get to think about everybody in the room. Ryan Reynolds, are you in my fucking Radical Happiness membership? Are you there? Because this is what I've been talking about for just over a week. Are you there? Are you watching my content around that? And I shit you not. This is, I have another podcast. When I told you guys at the beginning, remember I said that your growth in life is based on your nervous system? This is what I was talking about. Ryan, are you in my Radical Happiness movement? What is happening? I feel like I'm in the upside down or something. I'm not even kidding. This is the stuff I've been talking about recently. I mean, he's right. This is correct that you can only be in a creative space, make the right decisions, be open to solutions from a place of safety, being in rest and digest within your nervous system. That is literally the episode that's going up in the private podcast today. And what I've been talking about for the last week and what I've promised that you guys will get an episode on over there. I mean, he's not wrong, but it's just such bullshit coming from him. I'm sure Justin didn't feel safe when he was being berated for 5 to 6 hours. Yeah, Annie. I'm sure his system was put into some kind of fight or flight or freeze. I don't even know. I think he talked about feeling frozen. So it seems like he went into like a freeze response in that situation, which who wouldn't? I probably would have punched Ryan in the face, but you know, the average person can, the audacity, but that's all this is reputation management after headlines came out about Ryan Reynolds berating Justin Baldoni. Loki's stalking because he can't afford Ashley. Yeah. And you know what the funny thing about all of this is in that article we talked about yesterday, the Medium article about him exploiting that photographer, he admits that he uses social listening tools to track his name. So he does see everything people are saying about him. He 100% follows people. He continues, if I'm making a joke and it involves someone's name, I'm not going to make that. What? And it will not be in the final product unless I talk to that person. Huh? They feel good about it because I don't punch down, Reynolds says. Oh, for the love of God. How are y'all doing in the chat? What? So I wonder if he asked, and this is in response. Do you remember the line of questioning that Blake Lively's team used with Justin Baldoni in the transcripts that were unsealed? Y'all, he's so predictable. They are so predictable. The line of questioning that his team, him and Blake's team had with Justin Baldoni was, but did you ask people's permission? Like your girlfriend in high school, did you ask her permission before telling the story of you feeling uncomfortable with her and you being SA'd? And Justin was like, I didn't know I had to ask for her permission. And then they asked about the producer, director, or someone that made him feel uncomfortable in the hot tub. And apparently he had talked about it. And Blake and Ryan's side, their lawyers go, well, did you ask for permission before you went forward with that? And now Ryan, after those transcripts are released, goes to the Wall Street Journal Summit and says, I always ask permission to do things. Yeah, Annie's getting frustrated too. She's starting to yell. Tiffany, I noticed that too. And I was like, oh, that's mean. And then I was like, no, it's Ryan. I'm not fixing it. So he's addressed the berating because we did have headlines around that. Remember, that is what I said her team was working on pushing down when they flooded the zone with the bar scene and alleging that Justin had said, I didn't go to the harassment meeting. So they were doing Flood the Zone to push down the articles that said Ryan Reynolds, berated Justin Baldoni for 6 hours. So he addresses that, and then not just addresses it in the Wall Street Journal, but they take, because People Magazine wasn't listening to his whole interview for the Wall Street Journal. So his team, he went with a script. This is what you have to hit those points, took those points that are relevant to the bad headlines he's been getting, and puts them in this article. I am furious right now. So he says, no, I don't yell at my kids. To deal with the articles, the bad articles, that position him as someone that berated Justin Baldoni for 6 hours. And then he says, I always ask people's permission as a direct response. You will not convince me otherwise. A direct response to their team beating down Justin Baldoni over, but you didn't ask permission. You didn't ask for permission. Why didn't you ask for permission? You talked about this without asking for permission. Do you want to be on the camera? Is that what you're going on about? There you go. It's the Annie and Ashley show. Your name first. You're a ham. I mean, it's it's not surprising, but also the human in me just struggles with it. Ash, how's the astrology with the new moon in Scorpio? I haven't checked it in a few days. I have been so far behind because I haven't been meaning to stream for 2 hours every day. But if you guys want, let me know in the chat if you want me to look at, and I can post a video later about it. Let me know. Maybe not necessarily later today, but if I'm not doing a live stream tomorrow anyway, I can maybe post something about the astrology tomorrow. So there you go. He intentionally did these snippets. They are intentionally taken from the talk to go to people to address the bad headlines he's gotten. That being said, the Wrexham AFC co-owner then joked there are still plenty of challenges that arise. And I think my kids feel safe, he said. Are they still like spawns of Satan? Yes. Am I calling myself the Satan this moment? Yes, but they are. Okay, Ryan, whatever. And he adds, they're still kids. Wow. Look at this. The proposal actor has previously opened up about leaning into gentler parenting strategies with his young kids, and particularly how different that looks from his own upbringing. He loves to talk about how hard his upbringing was. Ryan, I would only be leaning into that if you were actually doing good things now. Like, lean into that if you're doing good things. Like Justin, he has had situations happen that he's not proud of. He's had situations happen to him that he had trauma around and was struggling with. But he turns his wisdom, he turns the things he struggled with into a way to help other people. But to have the audacity to sit here and continually talk about your hard upbringing while you are exploiting mid-late 20s, but still, the photographer, you're exploiting your celebrity to get free shit. You're a multi-millionaire, you're estimated about 400 million plus, and you continually don't have an advertising budget. Go to Canva. Get a $16 per month Canva membership, Ryan Reynolds, and use the stock photos there. Stop exploiting people. You exploit your own daughter. You have a toxic workplace, it seems like, where, again, you have your staff, which we saw yesterday, send completely inappropriate, hey girl, you up type messages to a photographer to exploit her, to give you free shit. Like, what? I could go on and on and on. Nice Pool. Did you ask Justin's permission to use him as Nice Pool, to make fun of him for Cafe Gratitude, to make fun of him for the man bun? Did you ask if it was okay if you offed him in front of the flower store in the movie? Did you ask his permission for that? Yeah. And he goes, yeah. Yeah, Mom. You tell him. We watching the screen? So, Ryan, unless you actually want to do good in this world, maybe take a seat on continuously bringing up how fucking hard your childhood was. No one gives a shit because all you're doing is causing trauma and pain for other people. And I don't believe that there's this gentle parenting shit going on in your household. It's a load of crap for headlines that reputation launder because you got some bad headlines recently. So you're trying to reputation launder and be like, but look at how good of a guy I am. I gentle parent. I'm the healing generational trauma is the new wealth. Am I right? That's what Ryan Reynolds is running with right now. Maybe he's also creeping the holistic psychologist on IG. Love her, by the way. Great account to follow on Instagram. Maybe he's even creeping her and being like, the new wealth in life is generational healing. So I'm really putting this foot forward to like the trauma ends with me. The trauma ends with me. So I gentle parent my kids. I don't yell. What a fucking psycho. It says last fall while speaking at HubSpot's Inbound Tech Conference in Boston, the father of four revealed that he took a workshop on conflict resolution that changed my entire life. So he's got to remind everybody, I couldn't scream. I dealt with my anger. I went to conflict resolution. You need an exorcism, Ryan. That's what you need. And lifelong therapy, my friend. Lifelong therapy. I'm not even going to charge you for that advice. A fucking workshop, you want to say, it's like, this is someone that is spreading their trauma all over the fucking world, ruining people's lives. And they're like, I went to UPW with Tony Robbins. All right. Congratulations. You went to a workshop with Tony Robbins. It's a fucking fabulous workshop. It's an incredible 3 days. It will potentially change your life if you take the tools and implement them. But so you want us to think that because you went to a conflict resolution workshop that you're a changed man when all of your behavior proves otherwise? He says, I just didn't know how to process things that I felt. You still don't, because I had a scarcity mindset when I was younger. Sorry, I'm dead, guys. I can't continue. Yeah, Annie. What? Sage. Yeah, who has the sage? I just can't. I'm sorry. There's there's so many spiritual and scarcity mindsets, like a spiritual term, but you're also going to hear it in some of the self-help circles. I feel like Ryan just went to UPW. Like he went and Unleash the Power Within or something, and he's stealing from Tony Robbins now. He's trying to be the new fucking Tony Robbins. Maybe he's mad that Tony Robbins picked Matthew McConaughey to be, a part of the Tony Robbins universe. And he's trying to get a foot in to, for the love of God. I have to be careful. Words are powerful. Words are spells. I do not want to put it into the universe. I do not want us to accidentally add, oh God, we're going to end up on the timeline where Ryan Reynolds is at a UPW or part of the Tony Robbins universe. I take that back. Please no. Please, God, spirits, angels, unhear what I just said. I love Tony Robbins, and I do not want Ryan to curse one of the things that is sacred to me and has changed my life. Please, God, hear me. Please, universe, hear me. Amen. Oh my God. Oh, he can go on Jay Shetty. Jay Shetty's sketchy as fuck. He can go over there. That's fine. He continues, parents today are so different. We're so soft. I don't yell. I grew up with it was nuts. Stop talking about your childhood, Ryan. No one wants to hear it. It was an improvised militia, he joked at the conference, later adding that now it's like I can go look at all my resources for parenting and remind myself how to be perfectly compassionate. Annie, stop changing things. Get off my keyboard. Perfectly compassionate. So what do you guys think? I'm literally sweating. That is some wild shit. Now I do have to watch the whole interview. But I mean, he pulled out the parts that are relevant on, what he wants us to know about how fantastic he is, how amazing he is. He doesn't yell. He's all about safety. He's a soft parent. He's so good, guys. He worries that he's not screwing the kids up enough. He's like, oh my gosh, I am so easy on my kids that sometimes I worry, are they getting enough, trouble for things? Am I being tough enough on them? No yelling, no punishments. He's gone to anger management. Hi, Annie. I know you love watching yourself in the screen or on the TV or whatever this is. Yeah, Annie's like, can we just move on? Sick of Ryan. All right, well, there you go, guys. Ryan's a saint. He wants everyone to feel safe. He doesn't punch down. He always asks people's permission before he puts anything out, unlike Justin, remember? I'm not like Justin, that guy that doesn't ask people's permission before he runs to the news to talk about sensitive stuff. No. I ask permission. I would love to see where that permission came from for, whatchamacallit, Nice Pool, Ryan. This is a level of craziness. Like, I am sweating. They just keep shocking me with the levels they go to. And then, yeah, he doesn't punch down. And it's all operating from a place of abundance and not scarcity. What workshop did Ryan just go to? Yeah. Or he had like a list of words that he had to hit during this. This is wild. This is, don't you dare chew on my mic. It's already ruined. Look at all the bite pieces out of it. Yeah, it looks so unprofessional. Look at that. Yeah. Thank you so much, Shannon, for the support. With the headline of this article, was he implying that Blake is Satan or that he is Satan since his kids are the spawn of Satan? That's a good question. That is a good question. Let's go back up to the title. Ryan Reynolds reveals why his soft parents has 4 kids with Blake Lively, but jokes are still spawns of Satan. I want to know. Ryan, you watch. I mean, you took from me, I'm going to assume, since we know you watch all my shit, you and Yi Zhou are probably hang out in your movie theater at home and watch my content. I want to know. Is it you or your wife that's Satan? Or both? Maybe you guys share that rule. All right, guys, that's wild. All right. I can't even believe this. Let's flip over to Yi Zhou. Yeah, you didn't get out of this, girl. You didn't get out of this. You might have thought like, oh, she's not going to talk about me now. She's already talked about, oh, girl, no, you're not getting out of this. All right. So let's dive into women that just can't help themselves by trying to take out men that they feel wronged them. My opinion only, of course. This is a lawsuit that was brought. It seems to have been, now there is a ton of paperwork in regards to this. It seems like the lawyers went back and forth for a bit. It's all only paid. It's not available on Court Listener. So this is the information I have that was sent to me. And so it's still publicly available, Yi Zhou. Still publicly available. You just have to pay for it. And so there are some snippets of the text messages in here as well. But this is a lawsuit that her personal trainer brought against her for 1, sexual harassment in violation of FEHA, 2, sexual harassment in violation of Civil Code 51.9, 3, failure to prevent the harassment, 4, retaliation. Maybe her and Blake are besties. Maybe they are. 5, wrongful termination in violation of public policy. 6, intentional infliction of emotional distress. 7, negligent infliction of emotional distress. 8, declaratory relief. 9, injunctive relief. 10, slander. 11, libel. Now, I'm going to tell you something. This is not the only situation. And someone has found something else that has been sent to me that shows a very clear pattern of when she feels slighted or rejected or she doesn't get her way, she goes scorched earth against men. So this isn't just the only thing that we found. Hello, it's so nice to see you, Christina, lurking while I do morning chores. Have fun with your morning chores. Yeah. Annie says, yeah, have fun. So let's dive into it today. This is only 26 pages. Plaintiff Anthony Simone, and just for those that don't know Yi Zhou, she is the one that is accusing, not suing him, just crashing out on Instagram. Keep in mind, there is no lawsuit. She is just crashing out on Instagram, accusing, just opinion, just opinion, accusing Jeremy Renner of like just horrible stuff, of grooming her, of these sexually explicit text messages, inappropriate behavior, lying about how he is now claiming he did not agree to be in her AI film. Jeremy Renner has denied it. He made a smart PR move. He had his lawyer issue a statement, which this, I would agree, rises to the level of like issuing a statement, because she was hundreds of posts on Instagram. So she's posting all this stuff. She's posting like undercover. They're gone now, but we have a video where we are looking at it. So I have videos. I can't remember which day it would have been, but I show you the Instagram where she has like undercover hidden pictures in his house that she posted on Instagram. It's wild. So she also, it comes out, she had said to TMZ that she thought they were in love. Well, you crash out with all these pictures on Instagram trying to prove that you and him were planning dinner, or someone was bringing dinner to the house or whatever. Okay, you just said you were together, but then she was pissed because he said it was a fling. She said this to TMZ. It's just so wild, where she goes on about, I thought we were in love, but he's saying it's just a fling. It's insane. She had Daily Mail had an exclusive, which pictures were provided by her. So I'll let you connect the dots there. Daily Mail had an exclusive in October of this year, the end of October of this year, of how Jeremy Renner found love again. And all the pictures for it were provided by her. I'll let you guys just fill in the blanks there. So the situation is wild. His lawyer, Marty Singer, stepped in, ordered a cease and desist, like stop crashing out on Instagram. And now she's accusing him and his lawyer of illegal use or improper use of a cease and desist. She's saying that it is trying to have censorship and silence women. It is wild. This whole situation is absolutely unhinged. Now, the new development, which we realized last night because someone on my Instagram post reached out and told me, and then she blocked me after going back and forth and messaging me and making posts in response to my content and all of that. She blocked me, so I couldn't see it. But someone sent me pictures, and she's starting to delete things. I talked about this in my Instagram stories today. I don't think she's deleting things because of Jeremy Renner's lawyers, because if that was the case, she still has some of the worst ones up. There's an image that he has on her Instagram, which he says something along the lines of like, I'm going to report you to immigration. And she literally cuts his message off. So you can't see why. She cuts it off, and she uses as proof for her narrative that he was trying to turn her over to ICE. And so she has that one up and a couple others that I think are some of the worst ones in terms of the potential for narrative control for her side. Therefore, I don't believe that it was in response to Jeremy Renner and his lawyer. I believe it's because she's seeing kind of the pushback she's getting, and she's starting to take things down. Because every day I talk about, hey girl, hey, you have these sketchy ass images of him that you took very clearly. Like, he'll be on his phone. They're gone now, but again, you can see him in old videos. He's on his phone looking down, and she's like taking these undercover pictures. And you can tell they're undercover because it's all blurry and it's not giving a time to set up the frame. Or he's walking around his kitchen and she's like taking pictures from the other room. It's creepy as fuck. It's so creepy. So those were all taken down, but it's just the situation is wild. He has handled this really well, put out the statement. And then when she ran to TMZ saying that there was a deal that was reached, Marty Singer responded to TMZ 2 hours after TMZ wrote the story. Therefore, TMZ just had to wait a couple more hours before running the story, ran the story regardless without hearing from Jeremy Renner's side. Just wild. Runs the story. And in the story, it says that there was a deal made. People are now believing that Jeremy Renner did what she's accusing because he paid her off, which is not the case. Marty Singer cleared up the story, cleared up the narrative and said, that's not true. We did not settle. And there's still potentially a multi-million-dollar lawsuit in regards to this because she also, on top of all of this, which I think is what pissed her off in the beginning and set this all in motion, he's saying, I didn't agree to your AI movie. I didn't agree to be in your AI movie. I didn't agree to any of this shit. I agreed to the documentary or whatever one she just put. I agreed to that, not this one. And so it seems like they were fighting over that. And I think that's what set her up or set her off, to be honest, is she's pissed that he's like, no, you can't release this. I'm going to sue you because I didn't agree to be in it, which is a whole other conversation around AI. I think, everyone needs to be keeping an eye in the industry. TMZ needs to focus more on being correct than being first. I agree. Is she represented by WME? Is she really? So Renner's lawyer initially did. So when she first started crashing out, they did a very well done PR statement, which was from the lawyers and was basically just like, this is not true what she's saying. And we're prepared and ready to level a multi-million-dollar lawsuit against her. So it was to the point. Jeremy himself didn't. The lawyer did. I think it was very, very well done. I haven't kept up with that crazy stuff. Got enough going on with Blake Lively. Yeah, Blake Lively. There's always so much. Gosh, blurry photos remind me of K-pop dating scandals. Oh, really? Because they often have blurry pictures involved. Really? Interesting. Thank you for letting us know. He's probably handling well because he has his own issues. It's possible. All right. Well, I think it's just handling the PR well, right? Like Justin's team handling PR really well. Some people just know how to handle PR. And Marty Singer is one of the best in a situation like this. If you're dealing with defamation cases, you want Marty Singer on your case. Marty Singer also tends to handle a lot of the Marvel people like Scarlett Johansson. He handles her case. I think it was the leaked images. I can't remember. There's something to do with Scarlett. She stopped communicating. Yeah, she blocked me after I put the dodgeball reference about it being a bold strategy in my Instagram stories. I think that pushed her over the edge, but she still watches the YouTube. She creates content in response to what I say on YouTube. Okay, so plaintiff Anthony Simone hereby brings this complaint against defendants Yi Zhou, an individual, her studios, which is an LLC, and does 1 to 15 or 1 to 25. So defendant Yi Zhou repeatedly demanded services of a certain nature from plaintiff Anthony Simone, who is a personal trainer and was employed by Equinox. Zhou and her company, Yi Zhou Studio LLC, hired Simone both indirectly through Equinox and directly through contracting him. Zhou sent hundreds of provocative text messages to Simone in which she insisted that Simone serve as her F-buddy. Stop. Simone repeatedly rejected her advances. In retaliation for rejecting her advances, Zhou fired Simone as her personal trainer. She later rehired him, but she continued to SH him and insisted that he have schmecks with her. The final straw occurred when Simone told Zhou that he had a girlfriend. This infuriated Zhou. Zhou told Simone in writing that she was firing him as her trainer because she was sleeping with somebody else. That is wild. Can you imagine saying that to your personal trainer? Fine, I'm firing you because I am sleeping with someone else. It's just wild. Zhou then called and wrote to Equinox and fabricated a story that Simone had SH'd her. Oh, look at that. Fabricating an SH story. The suggestion that Simone had ZHou was false and defamatory. To the contrary, Zhou was a perpetrator, and she had repeatedly subjected Simone to harassing and abusive behavior. These lies, however, caused Simone to lose his job at Equinox. Unfortunately for Zhou, her behavior is well documented in hundreds of pages of text messages between the parties. And this is why you have to hear both sides. Like, even there's celebrities out there where people might, and maybe people have a certain image of Renner, a certain image of Johnny Depp, or a certain image of someone. You've got to realize that PR is always going to have a spin. So when people see her posts on Instagram, they're like, oh, he's an asshole and he's this, he's that, because look what happened. This seems to be a pattern of behavior. Thank you so much, Lexi. It's so nice to see you in the chat. I hope you're having a fabulous week. All right. The jurisdiction. So it was in California. The amount in controversy of this matter exceeds $25,000. All right. The parties. So plaintiff Anthony Simone is a citizen of California and a resident of the county of Los Angeles. Simone is informed and believes that defendant Yi Zhou is an individual who is a citizen of the state of California and a resident of Los Angeles. Simone is informed and believes that Yi Zhou Studios is a California limited liability company, which is run and operated by Zhou. Simone is further informed and believes that Yi Zhou Studios' sole member is Into the Sun Holdings, Inc., a California corporation whose sole shareholder and officer is Zhou. 11, Yi Zhou's website states, founded by artist and filmmaker Yi Zhou. Yi Zhou Studios is a dynamic production and strategy company that works to bridge the East and the West and indulges in technological innovation in its approach, working closely with fashion and art industry since 2010 from Shanghai. It is now developed into productions in the entertainment biz and VR fields in HK and is that Hong Kong maybe? And LA. Yi Zhou Studios also produces lifestyle products by Yi Zhou and or in collaboration with lifestyle brands and institutions. 12, defendants Doe 1 through 25 inclusive are sued herein. We all know about Doe lawsuits now. And, as many of the lawyers online have said, they're not all sketchy. They're not all Van Shams. So it looks like this is also Doe's are a part of this. So defendants Doe 1 through Doe 25 inclusive are sued herein under fictitious names. Their true names and capacities are unknown to plaintiffs. When their true names and capacities are ascertained, plaintiff will amend this complaint by asserting their true names and capacities herein. Oh, there you go, Blake. I'm imagining that's a proper Doe lawsuit. Is in this moment, we don't know who it is, but we will adjust it when we do know, rather than just drop the law, make a Doe lawsuit, get what you need in text messages, and then it just disappears. I'm imagining this is the proper way to do a Doe lawsuit. Plaintiffs are informed and believe, and therein allege that each of the fictitiously named defendants is responsible in some manner for the occurrences here alleged, and that plaintiffs' damages as herein alleged were approximately caused by those defendants. Each reference in this complaint to defendant or defendants refers to all defendants sued under fictitious names. 13, Simone is informed and believes on therein alleged that at all times herein mentioned, each of the defendants, including all defendants sued under fictitious names, was the agent, employee, or representative of each of the remaining defendants, and in doing the things herein alleged was at the time acting within the course and scope of this agency or employment, and at other times acting in his own individual capacity. And the alternative, each of the individually named defendants, as alleged herein below, acted in concert and in furtherance of their fraudulent plan and scheme, and each actively participated in the wrongful act alleged herein. General allegations. A, in March 2019, Simone, so this is the personal trainer, began training with Zhou through Equinox. As of March 2019, Simone was a personal trainer employed by Equinox Fitness. Zhou was a member of Equinox. Zhou hired Simone through Equinox to provide personal training sessions to her. Zhou immediately started to send flirtatious messages to Simone, suggesting that she was interested in pursuing a schmextral relationship with him. Which is interesting because she, and again, it's not to say that someone can't have bad things happen after they've done bad things, but this is just like the exact same playbook as what we're seeing roll out with Jeremy Renner. And again, there may be more to this. I have someone that's sending me a lot of stuff right now, all publicly available, because she seems to have a history of crashing out on Instagram when she feels wronged by men. So it's all publicly available. This isn't me figuring anything out that isn't publicly available, Yi Zhou, because I know you watch. In late April 2019, ZHou asked Simone to hire him directly to train her at her home. Oh, don't do it, man. Don't do it. In addition to the training sessions at Equinox, ZHou also said that she will be hiring and paying Simone through her company, Yi Zhou Studios. On April 28th, 2019, ZHou sent a text message to Simone that her team will send you an NDA to sign and obtain some infos they need to pay you, which is pretty common as well, the NDAs. Although she doesn't seem like a big name. I don't know. Don't know much about her. 17. Beginning on April 28, 2019, a human resources representative from Yi Zhou Studio emailed Simone and asked him to return a signed W-9 statement, provide his banking information, and asked him to sign confidentiality agreements with Yi Zhou Studio. And these various emails, the HR representative made clear that she was acting on behalf of Yi Zhou Studios and that Simone was being hired by Yi Zhou Studio. 18. Simone tried to discuss the terms of his employment with ZHou directly, but ZHou directed him to discuss those issues with her company's HR and finance officials. See April 29th text. For payment, I think best you email discuss with them. I have staff to do finance, etc. Winky face, hope it's okay. Winky face. Best keep every 2 weeks I hire HR to do my payments for all people. Okay, so it seems like every 2 weeks she sends payments. 19. Simone thereafter provided the requested information and documents to Yi Zhou Studios. He understood that he was now employed by the studio. 20. Soon after becoming an employee, ZHou felt the need to impress Simone with the financial success of the company. For example, on April 26, 2019, she told Simone that she had secured a $3.5 million investment deal, which valued the company at $15.5 million. On May 1st, 2019, she told Simone that she had obtained a $4 million investment in her company. I can't stand people that are like that. Like, actually successful people aren't going up to you and saying stuff like that. C. ZHou's flirtatious and schmexchamal messages increased over time, accumulating in repeated demands that Simone have schmecks with her. I mean, I'm not, working in that industry for a long time, not saying that stuff like that doesn't happen, because it does, but also he clearly wasn't interested. And wait till you see some of this. After Simone became employed by Yi Zhou Studios, he was subjected to more suggestive and flirtatious messages. For example, on April 29th, 2019, ZHou told him, I want a piece of you every day. I should have a BF like your type personality, patient and chilled. Like, I can't even imagine having clients send me that when I was a personal trainer. 22. On May 1st, 2019, ZHou suggested that she use him for schmecks while she looked for a boyfriend. I want you to be, and this is a text message from Yi Zhou to her personal trainer. I want you to be my Anthony 1 and 2 and my mock guy I practice with while I found the right one. Smiley face. P.S. For the mock guy, you told me I can practice with you. Smiley face. So I might give it a try. LOL. You can rate me like they all do. LOL. Ooh. Oh God, you should be giving yourself more to me, your $1 million baby. Winky face. I calculate things very well. Smiley face. Not rich, stupid at all. Smiley face. Okay. 23. For the most part, Simone just ignored these suggestions. In response, ZHou became more explicit and demanding. On May 2nd, 2019, she texted him, I need a non-emotional, non-strings attached F buddy. LOL. I don't have one now. That would make me more relaxed than, it says message, but I think massage is where she was going for. Can you imagine being the personal trainer? 24. In response, Simone told ZHou that she should use a dating That's funny. That's funny. ZHou said that she cannot use a dating app because she's a public person. ZHou also said that she uses an agency, but the agency is for long-term relation, not F buddies. Then ZHou became even more direct. Do you have an F buddy? I'm alone, no partner. 25. Simone tried to ignore ZHou's harassing comments. That made ZHou more frustrated. And see, this is what I've said was what I was concerned about in how I was seeing things play out with Renner, is it seemed like she, and again, my opinion, like, throw it in the fuck it bucket. What the fuck does my opinion have to do with anything at the end of the day? Like, everyone can make their own opinions. This is why you don't crash out on Instagram. But it seemed like a woman scorned, especially after we saw the interview come out with TMZ where she said, I thought we were in love. That was true love, she had said, with Renner. So she keeps messaging Simone and asked him, are you asexual or gay? Or are you only box, no F? Oh my God. I don't, people want to put text messages out there. I'd love to know what Renner's text messages say to show the whole picture. 26. On May 3rd, 2019, Simone suggested a hike as part of their private training sessions. ZHou immediately tried to parlay the hike into a schmexchamal. And I say that because, algorithm and all. Encounter. She says, I crave for you, LOL. Hike, then chat, and F is good plan for me. I'm very open and have good relations with my team. We talk schmex all day, LOL, and joke. And my sign is Scorpio, so we see the world all through schmex, LOL. What? Why are Scorpios catching strays? Scorpios, you're catching strays right now. See, that's what I'm saying. She gets aggressive and angry when told no. Yep. I'm thinking this too. Yes, Elena, it sure seems like that. I'm thinking this too. Why would he continue to train her? I would have been like, girl, this is over. There's no way. There's no way. 27. ZHou continued with her harassing comments. On May 4th, 2019, she told Simone, may I be honest? When I watch, oh my God. When I watch you box, you make me so beep. Because that's definitely going to get an algorithm catch. My video will catch strays with that one. But there you go for the... I can't believe this. Maybe one day you will be 24/7 with me, smiley face. Then later that day, she said, could F you with or without abs, LOL. And on May, this video is going to be screwed with this. And on May 5th, 2019, she said, maybe you can be my F buddy, LOL. You could be my hike and F buddy, LOL. Simone again ignored ZHou's request for schmexchamal services. He's like, man, okay, what are you talking about? This isn't a happy ending personal training relationship. I am helping you get fit. What? And I almost wonder, you think of these situations where sometimes with celebrities and such, you don't want to like get a bad name. And if you're, getting hired by celebrities, you don't want people to be talking trash about you or something. Maybe that's why he just kept going with it. But I've been in this industry. Like when I left the counseling field, it was because actually I got into fitness and health to help my own mental health when I was in the counseling field. And then I saw the benefits of fitness and health on mental health. And I started bringing it into my after school program I ran through the YMCA for at-risk children and youth, and to group homes I was picking up shifts at. I started to bring it in because I saw the benefits of fitness. And then I fell in love with it so much that I started my own personal training studio, but I also worked at big box gyms. So I've been in this culture, and the culture can be, it can be charged in, like there's characters, let's just say. But at no facility I ever worked at, if you showed them what was happening, would you be forced to continue? So I don't know what the hell is going on. All I can figure is maybe there was a fear of like not being able to sign celebrity clients again if it got out that, I don't know. I'm trying to see why he stayed in this weird situation as a personal trainer. Thank you so much, MDR. It's so nice to see you. This stuff is why I love animals. There's such an honesty and presence with animals. Amen to that. Amen. I love hanging out with animals. I don't know. I'm just trying, as I'm reading this in real time with you guys, I'm trying to work through why you would just stay in this business relationship. 28. On May 5th, 2019, ZHou tried a new tactic. She offered to buy Simone gifts if he had schmecks with her. I'll buy you new socks for you at that store, winky face. If you can do a little more with me, could also gift you more. What? Isn't this now like turning into prostitution? Like, I will literally buy you things in return for favors, a certain type of favor. Wow. 29. When the offer of gifts did not work, ZHou continued to pressure Simone to have schmecks with her by asking him to be her new Carlos, i.e., one of her lovers with no strings attached. Girl, this is why you don't crash out on the internet. You draw attention to wild shit of your past. This would not have ever ended up on my channel had you not told me to take a walk. The day you told me to take a walk, girl, I had Googled Jeremy Renner's name to see if he had any new statements or had filed a lawsuit yet, because I'm waiting for that lawsuit. Didn't see anything, and I had dropped it until people sent me that you had basically called me out after seeing my video on Blake, Ryan, and Ari. And I know this isn't the intention you want, because after I spoke about this yesterday, you went crazy deleting shit on Instagram. Girl. By this point, Simone realized that his attempts to simply deflect ZHou's demands, her schmexschmal demands, had not worked. So he explicitly rejected her advances. On May 5th, 2019, in response to the foregoing text, Simone said, "You're my client. I take this job very seriously, and I would not want to interfere with your success. That's why you have Carlos's and I have my nightclubs. Helping you is my number one priority, so I don't see how that would help you at all. That's why you have Carlos's." That's actually funny. "And I have my nightclubs." He's like, look, if I want something, I go pick up some girl at the nightclub. I don't sleep with my clients. Stop. You're being a pain today. 31. ZHou, however, refused to accept the rejection. She texted, "Could give a try does not mean it affects other objectives. Smiley face. We won't tell anyone." And the audacity of her to accuse Renner of like pursuing her with these explicit messages and all this other crap. And again, it doesn't mean that things didn't get weird. Everything she's provided so far, in my opinion, looks like just proof they were sleeping together. Not proof that it was done in this way. She has released no text messages that show Renner chasing her down like this. Just messages that appear to be them in a relationship. Like, "Do you want me to pick something up for dinner or whatever? I'm on my way there," or something. Oh, this is wild. So she says she won't tell anyone. Simone again rejected her advances and said, "Did you do that with your trainers?" Simone again rejected her advances and said, okay, so this is the trainer. "Did you do that with your trainers? Because I have never with a client. I like to separate the two. I don't think it's a good idea because I feel it will change our relationship we have now, which I really enjoy." He's like, "Girl, is this like a habit with you? You hire a person." It's like, oh my God, she's like Blake. She is like Blake. Guys, she's Blake. She does a rug pull. She does a rug pull. She hires someone as a personal trainer, my opinion only, and then does a rug pull. It's just like, what do you mean, just a personal trainer? Like, I didn't hire you just as a personal trainer. I hired you as also an F buddy. What are you talking about? Like, the two go together. Oh my gosh. Maybe she is more like Blake than I thought. That is wild. So he's basically asking that, like, is this a habit of yours? You just sleep with your trainers? 32, just a few minutes later, ZHou again persisted. "Maybe you can be my Carlos and I can be your right swipe when we have no one." Again, Simone said no. And yes, I've had other female clients ask before too, but I've always said no because I feel there's a certain respect between us, and you lose that once you sleep together. Also, you don't want to be that person because let me tell you, trainers talk so much. Oh my gosh. You don't want to become that person around the club. ZHou retaliated against Simone for rejecting her advances. On May 5th, 2019, after Simone rejected her schmexmal demand in the foregoing text, ZHou responded that she will immediately stop using him for private training sessions and that she will cancel her training sessions with Simone through Equinox. I'm going to say I wouldn't, with someone acting like this, there's no way you would get me in a private training session with them unless the private training session was happening at the gym. Because the clubs, the gyms that I worked in, you'd have like a private area for personal training, which you could still see in from the rest of the gym, but it was private. With messages like this, I would not work with her or be seen with her anywhere than where other people are. I wouldn't trust someone like this to not make up stories about what went down. So she continues. She says she's going to cancel all of her training sessions. 34. Simone responded that he feels very bad and asked that they speak on the phone. ZHou persisted in demanding schmex from Simone. She says, I separate schmex and emotion and my goals very well. Tell that to Jeremy Renner. So she says, I separate schmex and emotion my goals very well. I also feel bad. I like you for sport and don't want to lose you, winky face. But then to be open-minded too, smiley face. We can lose respect in those terms, but we can forget fast too, LOL. Let's think about it, smiley face. No rush, smiley face. I would crawl into a hole and die. I would genuinely crawl into a hole and die. One, I would never send these messages in the first place, but two, if they made it to the internet. 35. Therefore, Simone and ZHou had a telephone conversation, or thereafter, they had a telephone conversation, but Simone refused to accede to her demands. So on May 5th, 2019, ZHou sent another series of messages stating that she will terminate his employment relationship. I thought you would be open for it, not that conservative, LOL. Maybe best I cancel. 36. After threatening to fire him, ZHou continued to demand schmex from some. She fired him and then continued to demand it. On May 5th, 2019, she texted him, as for schmex, I don't think it would be that bad if anything happened, winky face. So let me guess. She fired him because, okay, so you fired him because he said, no, I can't sleep with you because we have a business relationship and I take my job seriously. So what, you fired him in the hopes that he would then be okay to sleep with you? Is that what happened? I have massive secondhand embarrassment right now. Yeah. What? So now she's saying, I don't think it would be that bad if anything happened, winky face, but we can think more and know each other more and see what happens. Okay, this is getting like stalker level. What's Leo say, you guys? Something that makes me happy is knowing that there's future high-end drama bubbling up underneath the surface of this present drama we get to enjoy. Yeah. Wow. This is like stalker vibes now. Like, girl, lose my number. So she says, we can get to know each other better. I don't think it would jeopardize the work as I take the work very seriously for fitness. I am a serious person, but really I don't consider schmex in 21st century that life or death. LOL. It's okay. Winky face. Maybe I have more of a male brain than female. 37. Simone again rejected ZHou and told her that I guess view is different. I guess I view it different. I think there's a letter missing there. I guess I view it differently. 38. On May 6, 2019, ZHou said she'll be canceling her training at Equinox with Simone. She also warned him not to disclose her communications to anybody. Otherwise, she will inform Equinox that he had been training her on the side. Oh, yeah, that can sometimes cause problems with your job. Because, so when you work for, say, like, I don't work for Equinox, so I don't know, and I never have. But if you work for like a big box gym, the sessions might be like $70 an hour, but the personal trainer is getting like $18. Right? So you can't then take their clients, it's the gym's clients, not yours, and say, okay, well, get a package with 18 sessions through the gym once a week, but we'll train on the side. I'll charge you $50. I pocket the full 50 and we can train 2 times at out of the gym as well. Right. So there's a lot of contracts in place when you take a job at a big, I call it box gyms, like Equinox, the Athletic Club was one I worked at in Canada, Good Life, LA Fitness. Those are what I mean when I say big box gyms. So there's a lot of contractual obligations as a personal trainer there where it's actually a client of the gym, not yours, even though you are working with them. So that's bad news bears. I didn't even think about that up until this point. So that could get you to lose your job because again, if you're making $18 an hour through, say, for example, Equinox, but you're taking clients from Equinox, working with them on the side and charging 50. Ashley, we had a double redheaded Connor that looked very similar to Annie. Stop. Enough. Do you want to go in your tank? Your cage? Your tank. You'll take a nap. I will put you for a nap if you're going to be sassy. You will go for a nap. She hears the chickens outside and it's getting her to scream and I can't stand the screeching. Gives me a headache. That's when she gets a nappy, where she goes in her cage for a nap when she starts screeching. Okay, so she says, okay, I'm essentially going to report you to your employer. He agreed not to say anything, to which ZHou responded, you need to thank me for not disclosing because if I did, you would be in trouble. It was clear that ZHou was trying to hold this issue over Simone's head to pressure him for schmecks. 39. ZHou then sent a series of messages to Simone trying to blame him for misleading her into thinking that he wanted her. Of course, Simone did no such thing, but this was ZHou's attempt to deflect responsibility for her outrageous behavior. Even after sending those messages and even after ZHou had terminated Simone's employment, she still demanded that he sleep with her. In a text message, I appreciate the work you do for me and think we can do good work if the game is clear, and why you would say you don't want to F at all. Can you leave the benefit of the doubt? I'm just, this is why you don't crash out on Instagram, because you bring attention. Those mommy sleuths start to find shit. Crazy ZHou mantra, no retreat, no surrender. No retreat, no surrender. I'm dead. Yeah, he needed to run. Like, what? This has got to cross over to stalking at this point. 40. Then on May 6, 2019, just a few hours after ZHou purported to terminate Simone, she asked that Simone continue to train her. This time she insisted that Simone follow certain rules, such as no texting late at night. This request was ridiculous because it was ZHou who was insistent on sending provocative text messages to Simone at all hours of the night. Nevertheless, Simone complied with the new rules. Oh my gosh, she is like Blake. Are her and Blake friends? Okay. Great minds think alike. Guys, this is just, I'm sweating. What is happening? Is this like an extortion manual in Hollywood? I need someone to answer that for me. This is like Blake's 17-point checklist. No more, no more, no more, no more, no more. And the other side's like, yeah, I'll agree, because that wasn't happening in the first place, you psychopath. Is this some crazy? She has, yeah, Yi Zhou has teeth. Is this some crazy Hollywood playbook? Because this is the exact same thing Blake did. For those that are, I imagine most of the channels following the Blake thing. So she demands that he follow certain rules. She wants to work with him again, demands he follow certain rules, such as no texting late at night. But it wasn't happening. Oh, guys. We should have known Blake wasn't an original. She just copying a comic playbook. It's like the psycho scorned woman playbook in Hollywood, apparently. What is happening? Yeah, the egos of Hollywood. Exactly. I am just shook. Oh, shit. Oh, fuck. Sorry, guys. Give me a minute. Oh my gosh. The dogs were sleeping, but of course, Amazon has to knock on the door. Thanks, Amazon. I really needed 3 dogs freaking out. All right. So on May 7, 2019, ZHou told Simone that Yi Zhou Studios HR rep will email him the new rules. Oh my gosh. Email the new rules and a payment agreement. This is literally, yes, please like the stream. Now is Annie's. Oh, I have the 3 dogs freaking out. And Daisy's got that loud, like, hound dog. Whoa, what? So she's just freaking out. They hate Amazon. This is a 17-point list. This is literally the 17-point list. So I'm going to send you the new rules. I just not be like, I'm changing my fucking number. Like, forget you ever knew me. This is how you end up in a true crime documentary. This is how you end up murdered. Is continuing a relationship with a crazy, well, maybe even if you didn't, because she seems to just like not give up. Thereafter, and I'm not saying she would. I'm just, everyone chill, because we know all of them watch this channel. Thereafter, Yi Zhou Studios HR representative sent an email with the new rules, including no texting after 7 p.m. and no harassing. He literally got a no more checklist, guys. Literally got a no more checklist. If it's 17 points, I'll die. I need someone to tell me how many points it actually is. Allegedly. It's all allegedly, right? I'm just being cheeky. I'm not saying you would do it, Yi Zhou. I'm saying that sometimes you watch these true crime documentaries and, you know, not getting out when there's red flags means that bad things happen. Bad things can happen. Not saying you would do it. This is insane. I need to know how many points were on this list. So she has no texting, no harassing on this freaking list. It is a 17-point checklist. As for payment, the HR representative said the company will pay Simone through PayPal or through the company's payroll company ADP. 42, on May 8th, 2018, at almost 7 p.m., ZHou texted Simone at 7 p.m. So she's texting at night about her day and her feelings. Simone did not know whether to respond because of the new rules. I am just, so we asked her to clarify for communication supposed to be mainly on training days. Incredibly, ZHou responded that if Simone did not feel like chatting with her, it's okay. I can hire another coach. Then ZHou resorted to texting Simone about her personal life again. Simone tried to put a stop to it. We agreed we'll keep conversations about sport, i.e. training. 43, ZHou would not relent. No wonder Jeremy Renner was like, girl, bye. Like, I am getting the fuck out of Dodge. Didn't help him, but ZHou would not relent. She continued to send text messages to Simone at all hours of the night and through midnight, despite her own rule that Simone cannot contact her after 7 p.m. So it's like Blake Lively, no more, no more, no more. But she's using the word sexy. She's kissing off script other people. 44, the following morning on May 9th, 2019, Simone reminded ZHou that her own rule that communications occur within the hours of 9 a.m. to 7 p.m. In response, ZHou said that she is better off with another coach. So again, she purported to fire Simone. 45, after firing Simone again, ZHou sent him a series of abusive and angry text messages and even threatened to seek a restraining order against him. He ignored the messages. Yeah, probably should have ignored them a long time ago. ZHou rehired Simone? What? I'm sorry. What? Pardon me. No, you didn't. You didn't. 2 days later, on May 11, 2019, ZHou apologized to Simone and asked to rehire him. Simone agreed. I hope you're at least getting paid really well, man. 47. Only 1 day later, on May 12th, 2019, ZHou resorted to SHing Simone. My ideal Sunday today would be to punch, F on the couch, and siesta, LOL, smiley face. Too bad you are only 20. Too bad you're only 23? Okay. Guys, I just can't. I would crawl into a hole and die. I would change my name, not crash out on Instagram and bring more attention to myself. Oh my God. Too bad you're only 23 and you have schmexmal issues. So now she's accusing him of issues and you're my trainer. See, I think she fired him thinking that because he wasn't her trainer that he would then sleep with her. And then she's like, okay, well, probably feared then, in my opinion. Like, again, throw it in the fucking bucket. What do I know? I'm not saying this actually happened. I could see in a situation like this where someone would be like, okay, so if we're not working together, then I'll just fire you. And then we're free to sleep together. And then you realize the person still doesn't want you. And that was just like another layer of excuses, right? Or a real reason, but whatever. And you're like, well, I don't want to lose you in my life. I'm going to be kind of crazy stalker. So I'm going to rehire you. And so that way I can continue to message you with my 17-point checklist on no more. She continues, but we can't be together due to age difference, and you don't like to F or fun stuff due to ethics. She even told him that she is sorry for telling him that they can only communicate until 7 p.m. because she needs to be able to talk to my Anthony 24/7, no time boundary, LOL, winky face. Again, the stream of inappropriate text messages continued late into the night. 48, Simone tried to persuade ZHou to keep the messages professional. Yes, I thought we had agreement to keep text only about sport. I think it's good for me to be professional like you suggested. But ZHou insisted on, But ZHou insisted on sending him schmexually provocative messages. She even suggested that she should be able to buy a package from Simone that gave her the right to... Guys, why is there so much chaos? I know you've been really good for a long time. Hi, Julia. I might have to wrap it up in a minute. No, okay, we're going to pull down my entire computer. Why? Do you want to say hi to everyone? Ouch. Oh, thank you for the kisses. This is Julia. Okay, guys, can we keep it together just a little bit longer, please? Just a little bit longer. Okay. So she even suggested that she wants to buy a package. So personal training with a happy ending. Can you imagine going to your personal trainer and being like, can I buy a package that includes a happy ending? Like, what in the world? So he words it as like, she wanted to buy a package where she can continue to SH me and that it's okay. So she says in the text message, I need to buy a package that is fun and pleasurable for me to talk to. I can't do boring talk all day. Your personal trainer isn't there to talk to all day, man. The fuck? You pay for your personal trainer's time in that hour, and maybe there might be a package where you have check-ins. So when I was personal training, you would have a weekly check-in on a Friday, and depending if it was in-person training or an online training program, that's what you pay for. This is psycho. She says, I need to buy a package that's fun and pleasurable for me too. I can't be boring. Please be flexible. Don't be mentally stiff. 49. On May 21st and 22nd, 2019, ZHou sent dozens of messages to Simone demanding that he admit that he is sexually attracted to her. What? And again, she suggested they have that type of relationship. You worry too much, she says. Even if you like me and we had schmecks, there would be no consequences. He ignored those messages. 50. Over the ensuing days, ZHou sent Simone hundreds of text messages at all hours of the night demanding attention from him. Simone gently told her that he is not being paid to be there 24/7. Yeah. And sometimes he needs to attend to other clients or be with his family, or just the fact that you're not meant to be babysitting her 24/7. What the fuck is happening? 51. This apparently angered ZHou. She first demanded his round the clock attention. I want to know, are there text messages? I want to know what triggered him to send a message that started with, I'm going to report you to immigration, ZHou. And you cut off that message, so we can't see the rest of what he says. Did you try to extort him like this, Jeremy Renner? Did you send him these kinds of messages? Did he say, hey, girl, hey, I didn't agree to be in your AI film and you crashed the fuck out? You started threatening him, try to hold things against him. Like, what happened? Because I'm feeling like we didn't get the whole story so far. I'm feeling like there's pieces missing from the crash out on Instagram. So she demands round the clock attention now. She says, I don't care. You have other clients. You abandoned me. Then over the next few days, she repeatedly told Simone that she will not pay anything more to compensate him for the hours of phone conversations and messages that she was demanding from him. Quote, I need the extra time. Sorry. No, I won't pay for outside. Talk to me outside. And I'm not a bank. I won't pay extra. Don't ask me for more money. I won't pay extra for extra talk session. No, maybe I'm not clear. I won't pay. If you need money, consider to be hired. What? If you need money, consider to be hired for schmecks. Maybe you can make more money. LOL. I won't pay to talk. Sorry. Yeah, no, girl, you're not paying to talk anyway. This is so outside what's appropriate for a trainer's relationship. What is happening? This is why I don't get people my cell phone number. So no one gets my cell phone number. I don't want this shit. ZHou fired Simone because he told her that he had a girlfriend. Oh, God. Good luck. As of June 2nd, 2019, Simone had tried every possible way to get ZHou to stop harassing him, SHing him, and to stop sending him dozens of or hundreds of messages per day. He had tried ignoring her. He had tried telling her that he needs to be compensated for all the communications. And I'm going to, if someone hires me for coaching, whether it was in personal training or like business coaching or anything, yeah, there are packages where, again, you, for example, personal training, you get check-ins or you get like Voxer access, right? Where one major question per day, I will check in around noon daily and I'll answer your question, but that's all extra. Like this isn't this isn't egregious to be like, look, if you want more support, which I still wouldn't offer it to someone like this, obviously, it's going to cost you more. So we tried ignoring her. Nothing worked. 53, on June 2nd, 2019, Simone told ZHou that he was dating somebody exclusively. He said he is now sticking to one person. This, however, made it worse. ZHou became infuriated. She sent numerous text messages demanding to know the identity of Simone's girlfriend and stating that she will fire him if he's really dating somebody else. So the text messages, one person, who's that? You did not tell me. Regular F buddy, question marks. I should go back to Amar, other trainer then. If your mind and body is busy now, shall I cancel today then? I need you to be free and 100% devoted to me. If not, you can go and F yourself. If the truth is you have somebody, if the truth is you have someone /F regular buddy, I will cancel today and all the rest of the work. What is happening? Who are you effing and seeing? You told me 2 weeks ago we both need a relationship. You have no one. So now you're sticking your What? Yeah, the gloves came off. Oh no. What is happening? So now you're sticking your on a regular basis to a person you did not tell me. My goal is to work with people who are into me. Even Equinox, I only go to teachers who are into me, spend time with me before, after class, a few minutes, etc. I don't work with people who are not into me on a daily basis. I thought you like me and were into me. If you have someone, why don't you ask her to pay for your life and meals and clothing? Oh my God, this is a crash out. What is happening? All of a sudden now, so this is just like, it looks like one message after another, like, my rule is I only work with people who adore me and are into me. Oh, you sound like Ryan Reynolds. Ryan Reynolds only works with people that adore him and into him and obsessed with him. Cute. Maybe you should keep tagging them. You guys might be besties one day. You have a girlfriend. 2 weeks ago, you had no relationship. Now you have. I spent so much money and time on you. You tell me you are effing someone, have girlfriend. You can go hang with her. LOL. I will cancel all programs with you. You can go F her instead of working with me now. You will. Have today free and all next week days too. Ask her to pay for your time and smoothie and bars. Shoes and bags and socks. What does she have with socks? Why does she keep wanting to buy him socks and crash out about socks? Quote unquote, sticking to one person? Question mark, question mark, question mark. That's a lie. So if you do what you are allowed to, apparently it's not allowed to, I won't work with you as of today. See, that's what I'm thinking. So she was buying him all this stuff. I think she was trying to buy him all that shit. Like the text messages earlier where she was like, I'll buy you things. Now I want, like, did she actually show up at the gym with these things? I never took gifts from clients. Because even if it was like completely innocent, you didn't want crash outs. Wow, that is wild. Thus, Simone understands that ZHou had fired him as her personal trainer. Yeah, I would imagine after that, you would imagine you are fired. Gee, this is what is happening? Gee, ZHou made defamatory statements to Equinox about Simone to get him fired from Equinox in retaliation for stating that he had a girlfriend. Oh, so she also has a history of trying to ruin someone's career. Interesting. After she was rejected, allegedly, based on what this lawsuit says. 55, on June 2nd, 2019, after firing Simone as her personal trainer because he would not sleep with her, ZHou then told Simone that she will report him to Equinox for harassment and abuse and in order to get him fired. I hope he sued Equinox too, because they did fire him. I would sue the shit out of them. I can report you for harassment and abuse. Your personality makes me puke. They should fire you. Since you're into a new bitch, you should focus on her, ask for her money. I really don't feel good about you told me. I don't like that feeling. I thought you only liked me. You use my money for meals, dinner for that bitch. I won't pay for your life with that bitch. What? Girl, you're... What? I'm just going to say, if I had lawsuits like this that were publicly available on me, I'd be laying it low. I'd be laying low. I wouldn't be crashing out on Instagram. I wouldn't be drawing the attention of the mommy sleuths to me. I would be laying low. I don't know. Maybe there is. And I'm not saying there is, but maybe there is some kind of mental health aspect to this. Cause like, what the fuck? 56, Simone is informed and believes that on or about June 5th, 2019, ZHou called Simone's manager at Equinox and falsely told them that Simone had SH'd her. Wow. On June 8th, 2019, ZHou sent an email to Simone's manager at Equinox and copied Simone in what she said, maybe you guys should send him to take SH classes. 58, the suggestion that Simone had SH ZHou is false and defamatory. To the contrary, as discussed above, ZHou had repeatedly subjected Simone to her SH and abusive behavior. And ZHou had admitted in her text messages that she was trying to get Simone fired from Equinox because she was angry that Simone had chosen to date another woman. 59, shortly after ZHou's complaint to Equinox, Simone was fired but from Equinox. 60, as a result, Simone no longer had a job with Equinox, nor did he have the private training job with ZHou, all because Simone told ZHou that he was dating somebody else and was not interested in having a relationship with her. About 2 weeks after ZHou had fired Simone and had gotten him fired from Equinox, she had the temerity to contact him again and offer to hire him again privately. My flabber is gasted too. Feels wrong to even read this. Yeah. I didn't know what we were getting into. I'm not going to lie. I always like to do first look with you guys. If only Jeremy Renner had seen this before he got involved with her. No kidding. So after all that, she messages him again, be like, I hope all is well. If you are allowed to, I'm happy to hire you to work directly with me directly if possible. Huh? So after all that, you get him fired from his job. And you're like, hey, girl, hey, so like, I want to hire you again, but privately. Let's not have all those silly rules that Equinox puts in place. Like, I know it was just Equinox getting between us. It was just Equinox that was causing the problems. I get it, but I solved that for us. I got rid of them, and now we can be together. Does it not feel like that? This is why you Facebook stalk someone. Amen. Amen. This is why you like Google search someone. Check out, Trellis. Check out Court Listener. Enter someone's name in there before you do anything. Yeah, all my opinion, entertainment purposes only. I'm not saying this is the case. Wow. So first cause of action, SH, in violation of FEHA against ZHou, Yi Zhou Studios, and Does 1 through 25. So I don't think we have to go through all that. Second cause, the SH. Oh, we already did the causes at the front. Yeah. So you think it was severe and pervasive? Where does it say? It was unwelcome and also pervasive or severe. You think? Simone is informed and believes and thereupon alleges that defendants' actions in each of them were taken with malice, oppression, fraud, and or willful and conscious disregard of Simone's rights and were carried out by Yi Zhou Studios, managing agents, and or ratified by Yi Zhou Studios. So, here's the thing. Maybe, and again, this is not me saying this is what happened. But when you have, this is why context is so important, right? That message they sent, we said, I'm going to contact immigration or something. Like she sent him, I wish I could freaking see her Instagram. I can't. But she's like, you're a pig. You're disgusting. I hate you. I told people. And she's like crashing out. Literally exactly like we just saw here. Crashing on this text message, calling Jeremy Renner a pig and all this stuff. And his response in the bubble that you can see is, I am contacting immigration. And then she cuts off the rest of his response. And then she ran to media headlines or legacy media and said that he threatened to call ICE on me. Girl, what is there something sketchy going on behind the scenes? And he didn't say, look, I'm not American. Maybe ICE and immigration are the exact same thing. Fuck if I know. But what's the rest of the message? And is there fraud going on? Is there sketchy shit going on at the company that does need to be reported? Does it need to be fucking reported? It's total speculation. Yeah. Like, what do I know? But this is why you don't go to the internet and crash out, because then you get people speculating. But did Jeremy Renner figure something out? Did he know something? It's just a question. Fuck, she'll probably make a post about it today answering that for us. So, if you can see her Instagram, stay tuned. Wow. So it's just going through all the causes of actions here. Keeps going on about malice, oppression, fraud, willful and conscious disregard for rights. All right. Well, that's it. I don't even know how to wrap that up. Someone asked, is it settled? So I can't see everything in Trellis because on Trellis, you have to like pay for each page. And there is quite a significant amount of back and forth on it on there. Well, not significant, but I have, a sanctuary to pay for. So I'm not paying for all these documents. But the last thing, and I think it's at the top here. Where did I see it? So there was a jury trial demanded. I saw somewhere, and I put into, I don't know where I saw it though, and I don't want to go to the first page. I saw somewhere, I put in the words that were used into Chat GPT, 'cause again, well, not a lawyer, not American, and it did say that means that was like resolved out of court in some way. So it looks like it was resolved in some way. It's not, this doesn't seem to be going to trial, but what do I know? Like, who knows? Maybe it just like hasn't gone to trial yet. Oh, can you just create a new trial account with a throwaway email on Trellis? I'm going to do that today. Sorry, Ashley, we're sending Ryan back to you guys in Canada. My apologies. China Yi Zhou is coming home. Woo, I'm sweating. My bangs are all sweaty. I'm all sweat. That was something. I'm going to create a new trial. I'm going to create a trial account and see what the final couple pieces of paperwork were, and then we can talk about it on the channel. But hi, Tundra. Oh, you're such a good husky boy. All right. Well, I'm sweating because this is just wild. How are you guys feeling? Today was a roller coaster. Today was a wild ride. We start off with Blake Lively trying to get ahead of the narrative with the whole birth video PR potential disaster. We slide on over into Ryan doing reputation management and trying to convince us that he is soft parenting. He doesn't yell. He's dealt with his anger issues. He always asks for permission, remember, from anyone that he's ever going to make a joke about. He gets their permission first before doing it because he's such a good guy. So we get Ryan talking about that. We get Ryan talking about scarcity mindsets versus abundance mindsets. Pretty sure he's going to be pitching himself to be the next guy at the Tony Robbins UPW event. And then we roll right on over into whatever this is. Yi Zhou crashing out on her personal trainer because he won't let her pay him for schmecks. Today was wild. That was a wild ride. Yes, I need a shower after those text messages. I need a shower after all of this. What a day is right. It was a wild ride today. Wild roller coaster. I don't even know where to go from here. Yeah, we need to hold like a poll. Who is more delusional, Ryan or Yi Zhou? Oh, isn't today possibly the unseal day? I think there's a potential for today to be a big day. I don't know if it was unseal, but there's something I think that's supposed to be going on today. Let's just flip. We'll flip over really quick. There's nothing new. Like there's stuff new, but all the text messages and everything are under seal. So they're going back and forth about this Kristen Bender to seal some stuff. There's text messages there, but it's under seal. Excerpts from Melissa Nathan under seal. Looks like declaration of Kristen Bender for discovery. There's some email correspondence from Counsel for Lively here, but this is all kind of like, we're not going to go through. It's kind of boring, just going back and forth. But so far, nothing exciting, just some sealed messages. I was not expecting that to be that bad. Yeah, I wasn't expecting it either. I'm buffering. I was not expecting that. I was expecting again, I've been in especially at these big clubs, there's a certain vibe that goes around at big clubs. I always stayed out of that vibe. When I was there, I was more into the bodybuilding. When I was working at big box gyms, not bodybuilding, but the more figure bikini type divisions. And so that vibe was different. So it was that was a job, and even working out was a job. But yeah, there's some crazy shit that goes on at personal training studios, but the unredacted stuff coming up, I don't think that was. But I think there is stuff coming up today, or supposed to. I don't know. Is that kind of harassment common for trainers to go through just in LA? That's a good question. I would say yes to it's very common for clients to try and cross the line 100%. 100%. It's very common. But that I've never seen anything like that. Not like that. But it is very common for clients to cross the line for sure. But usually it's me like, do you want to go for dinner or whatever, right? Like it's someone trying to like take you on a date, not that. Boundaries are so important. I want to, unseal the text messages from T Swift already. Yes. Yeah, she was trying to force him into prostitution. That's exactly it. I think, when we're saying like, I don't think just LA, I do agree, there is that industry there. It has a vibe, like I said, but I think where LA comes into that is you're dealing with rich, famous people who think that there are no boundaries and they don't understand no. And they don't understand that someone might not be into them. And the crazy thing is didn't we just talk about this yesterday with Blake Lively when I said I think Blake Lively's thing she's most pissed about is that people weren't all about her. Like she would have a conversation and then someone else would like talk about something. And I genuinely think she was more pissed that it wasn't just everyone completely obsessed and enamored with her, that the universe did not revolve around her on set. And I think that agitated her more than anything. We just said that yesterday. And now that's the same situation that's going on here is I genuinely believe based on what I saw not just it's her own words, because it wasn't all about her and he wasn't in love with her and focused solely on her, it triggered her. And so I think, Hollywood in general tends to attract a certain type of personality. You want to be the center of attention. You like being the center of attention. I even have a lot of clients that come to me to build personal brands. And they're like, I don't want to be like the center of attention. I don't want to, my face out there. I'm like, then you don't have a personal brand. Like, what are you talking about? So even personal branding, there's a level of like, you have to be okay being kind of like out there. But I do think Hollywood attracts a certain type, which probably just amplifies the issues you're going to see on any workplace, the issues you're going to see in any personal training studio. And it just makes it that much worse because of the egos involved. All right, my friends. Yes, I've had some people ask me to talk about Colleen's article or get into Colleen's PR. Maybe another day. We're at 2 hours, 15 minutes again today. And I was like, Ashley, only an hour today because you have so much work to do. All right. Since I am now behind on work, make sure to please like, subscribe, share the link somewhere after the live's done. Please leave a comment to help the algorithms. We're going to need that ad revenue, guys. We're going to need the ad revenue because I don't have time now to do what I need to do to make money today. I talk too much. I don't know. Maybe I think it's ADHD time blindness too. I don't know. I think that's got to be a piece. I'm going to blame my ADHD, even though I don't like blaming things like that. I'm going to blame my ADHD time blindness on how only an hour turns into 2.5 hours. Okay, my friends, it was so nice to hang out with you. Everyone take a shower, go touch grass or something, not because you're out of touch with reality, but these people are. So go touch grass, go take a shower, meditate, sage, and I will see you in the next one. Oh, you guys agree as fellow ADHDers. There we go. We'll just blame ADHD. I'll see you in the next one, guys. Bye.